The following episode of the Broke Boys podcast contains strong, disturbing topics that some may find triggering. Viewer discretion is advised.
All right, well,
we back.
damn. I mean, okay.
2 weeks, man.
Here's out.
We've had unexpected delays
Yep. And
for the past 2 weeks.
if you see my previous YouTube video, yes, I'm gonna shamelessly plug it. You will see what happens at the end. So you'd have to watch the entire video, please.
They just fast forward to the end of it.
To the end, I swear. But no, for real. We only took a week, not even a break. We just couldn't record that week, and so after that week, we recorded something very serious and dark, and it was just, I mean, it was hard.
Yeah.
Like it was a serious topic, right? And something happened, and we lost the file. What am I saying? Just go check the YouTube video.
Yeah.
But stuff happened.
35 minutes of
mm-hmm.
recorded audio just
Missing.
disappeared
Mm-hmm.
within a second. And
there's more that happened to it, but like I said, you'll have to go watch the video.
yeah, there is. You have to indulge yourself in that, but
That's not even the point of this episode.
Yeah,
the point is
not at all.
We had stuff planned out, like a whole layout, but due to unforeseen circumstances, we're just gonna go straight into the serious topic, and this is kind of like a viewer discretion type thing.
Yeah.
If you don't react well to any kidnapping cases, any what else would it be?
Sensitive
Yeah,
topics,
it's like sensitive topics. If you can't react well to just anything regarding like the disappearance of children or the harassment done to children, then I advise you don't listen to this episode.
Yeah, or if you have any thoughts on it too,
Or if you've gone through something similar, or
in your
life,
talk
yeah,
about it, you know,
and like you get PTSD from it, or like thoughts about it, like just click off.
mm-hmm.
So yeah, I just wanted to give that little discretion before we started today. You know, it would have. I wish the audio would have saved, because
dude, it was
the way
like,
we said it made sense, and now
can't-
it's just like we have to jump into it right away.
Yeah, I said within the video, Frankie's video, like you can't necessarily repeat the same stuff and get the same outcome of like how you said it and the way you worded it. Obviously, it follows the same case. You know, we're gonna talk about the same stuff we did then, and hopefully by the hand of God, He lets this come out and it's
And live.
knowledge to you guys, because it's big, you know. And I think even if other people besides our followers listen to it, it will give them something to think about. Because personally, I feel like some of our other episodes, yeah, they do, but this one's so like on the nose about how recent events are, that it'll give more perspective to like people who are not necessarily understanding of the situation really taking place within our world and your countries. You know, it happens fucking all over the world, man.
Yeah.
Child trafficking and shit like that is a terrible, terrible thing, and any human being who partakes in it is disgraceful
Yeah, no.
in the eyes of God. So that's all I gotta say about that for now. But
we didn't even do our normal like intro or anything like that, because it's just, it's weird. Like, it's just weird to like jump into it. I mean, there's one thing we can keep that we talked about, but there's another thing that we're just gonna have to save for another episode, and it's probably gonna be old news by that point. But so be it. It's just how it is, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a little serious this week, but we'll start light right now. Colin, I think you've seen the video about the lady on the plane.
Yeah.
And she was screaming that person obviously is not real. She was freaking out. People were calling her crazy at first. They were calling her drunk. But, I mean, later on when people were really speculating things, like you could really see fear in her eyes and
understand maybe where she might be coming from.
Yeah, and it kind of just made the public really, like, dig back deep into something that was kind of brushed off a few years ago.
Yeah.
And, you know, everyone has their own beliefs and conspiracies or whatever, you know. If you don't believe in it, you don't believe in it. I respect you. If you do believe in it, I respect you again, you know. But I don't know. What are your thoughts? Do you think she saw something she wasn't supposed to see?
Yeah, I think so, because if it was some frantic like lady just saying random shit,
yeah,
more videos, you know, would come out and stuff. But recently, I haven't really seen anything like about the situation. Like, it's been maybe 2 weeks, couple of weeks since
about like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, and I haven't seen any more follow-ups, no information, no like follow-up from her or nothing, you know. Like, it's just been dead case. Like, I've seen a couple of videos that showed the surrounding like of the plane where she was sitting, but
it's weird because some of it doesn't add up, but some does.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you really don't know what to believe.
And like, you would think you would hear things from like the flight attendants. Maybe they would come out and be like, "Oh no, it was just this was happening" and stuff like that. But not even the airline has come out and said anything, just because they're trying to keep it so down low. Maybe it was a case if she saw something, you know. But I think it didn't like really specify. Like you said, people have their conspiracy theories and their own ideas of what it could have been or could be, and I just think there is a possibility if
like she saw something
she saw something. Yeah.
You know, this thought just came in my mind right now, but why hasn't the dude come out and say anything? You know, like, have you thought about that? Like, if I was in that person's position, being told by some lady on an airline, like, that motherfucker is not real, I'd come out in the video and be like, yo, I don't, like, you know, like,
it's fucking weird.
Yeah, like, I'm just a normal dude, you know, whether you believe it or not, but like, you know.
What's even weirder is like, no one was necessarily pointed out. You could just make your own inferences and be like, oh, it could have been this person sitting closest to her, just enough to like have an interaction between each other.
Yeah.
But there's obviously countless people on the plane. She didn't even specify who she was talking to, and on the video you can't even see like the rest of the plane by where she was sitting. It was just kind of focused.
Supposedly there's some dude wearing a hoodie.
But. Yeah, from the video I mentioned earlier about like the surrounding of the plane, like that dude did look more suspicious than anyone else. You know, like if I was an investigator and I was looking out for suspects or people who could be weird, obviously I'm gonna point out that one dude with his eyes down and his hood on, who's very quiet and like not frantic when some lady's screaming about.
But I mean, then again, it's like you're on a plane, like you want to be comfortable too, you know?
Yeah, I mean, true. You could just be chilling on a plane with your fucking hoodie on, but I don't think private investigators and shit like that, they just look into anybody that could possibly be it. But there's not necessarily a case for them to really deep dive into it and point out people's actions and stuff like that. Like, it's not some serious matter, but it is just a little weird that she came out and was instantly, her eyes opened up and she was freaking the fuck out in the middle of the plane, asking to get off because no one else can notice that guy is not a real human being.
Yeah, she was shaking too, so. You know, another thing, how come she hasn't come out saying anything either? Like,
yeah, like I mentioned, bro, that there's not been anything.
She alive?
Bro. Yes, there's not been anything. Like, I saw
like, I haven't seen a mugshot, no follow-up.
No follow-up from the airline, been like, this is okay, because the video went fucking viral. Like, you would think that the airline might come out and be like, hey, it was just a misunderstanding, she had something wrong with her, or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, clarify the situation, but I saw a TikTok, it was saying the lady when she gets home, and we mentioned this on the audio recording, like the movie, the Eyes Wide Shut. Like, when she gets home, maybe she's just gonna see a bunch of people like that. But obviously, that's another topic, you know, if you believe in that shit and the secret clubs and stuff. But
yeah, like the elite clubs and stuff like that.
It all kind of just relates to each other if she's speaking the truth about what she saw on the plane. But
there was something I said in the lost recording audio that I kind of want to say again, but at the same time, I don't know if I should because. But the dream, and I woke up. And, yeah, it's I mean, it's weird, you know. I mean, I call it a coincidence, but It's just a bunch of stuff that's happened. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone has dreamt random shit, but like growing up, it was like always on some random shit, you know, or like I'd wake up and I'd see something, you know. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird how they could take a toll on people, but I mean,
there's always a possibility she could have just been seeing things and maybe like
but
mess with her brain or something.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Like maybe she was high on drugs or some shit, but
her neurology was just fucked up or something.
But she still didn't like follow up.
Yeah, that's
usually people follow up with that. Be like, "Yeah, I'm sorry, I was drunk or I was high or some shit like that."
But especially like on TikTok nowadays, you hear people coming out with like story times and things like that, just explaining this situation. Because when a video pops off, multiple comments are like, "Explain backstory, this and that, like what's happening," you know? Because if you're watching a video like that with absolutely no context, but you're just seeing a lady scream about some guy not being a real human being. Like, obviously, you're going to want context to it because you're like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
But in this case, she didn't come out to say anything, and the situation was kind of just voided and left alone, you know?
Yeah.
So, hopefully, she's all right. Hopefully, nothing happened to her. She got her money back from the flight. I don't know how...
But still, man, like, these conspiracies, man, like, you've heard of, you know, people not being people, if that makes sense. Like, they're not human or whatever.
Yeah.
Or that they're being disguised or... Like, you've heard, I'm pretty sure people listening right now, they've heard it too, but... Like, I don't know, do you think that that's true? Like, could you see that as a possibility?
Yeah.
Like, we're hiding people?
Since I was little, I've seen shit on the news about that and stuff like that. So I personally believe it. I think we're not the only ones in this world.
Yeah.
One random reference is if you've ever looked into the Denver airport, they kind of advertise aliens and lizard people.
Yeah.
For an airport that's really fucking weird. I don't know why that's their go-to to get people to come and fly from there, but I personally believe that people can't be who they seem they are.
Who they appear to be?
It's
like, who can I trust type.
So, that's like the whole thing with this, like, episode, you know?
Like, who can we trust? Yeah, because you know...
Who's truthful.
Yeah, because you see people come out saying stuff like exposing or whatever, and then they disappear or they commit suicide or something fishy happens to them. So it's just like you don't really know, you know?
Yeah.
It's just these elites, man. They control everything. You don't know who they are, where they are,
where they come from.
Yeah. I mean, again, eyes wide shut, bro. I mean, they have their groups. They have their masks hidden, or their masks to hide their identity or whatever.
And in this case, honestly, the mask to hide their identity is like someone else's face. One thing that, like, it's a random reference, but there's a show called Secret Invasion, and it shows how, like, these superpowered beings who could, like, transform into people. Yeah, they're called Skrulls. Like, honestly, if this guy was a fucking lizard man and he was hiding his face with some other person's, like,
he was a Skrull.
You know, I'm not saying he was a Skrull. He could be, like, a fucking lizard or something.
Oh.
But that, I mean, I feel like taking it from a TV show and trying to compare it to real life is 100% different. But
I mean, look at us trying to make light of the situation.
There's still fucking evidence to kind of show that certain people aren't who they
think they are, or certain people aren't. Certain people aren't who they appear to be or who they say they are. Yeah, no, like it's just
anyone in those positions has two things: money and
fame,
and
power,
just power. Yeah, that power is like
power
a big
and influence.
Thing, you know, if they have power, then there's just nothing gonna be able to like identify them and stop them because they're gonna know several people. They're gonna know several ins and outs and ways around the
thing. Yeah, but the thing is, like, recently people have obviously come out with like things to expose people. such as like Epstein Island and like The List and whatever, and like the whole Pizzagate. I don't know if you know what that is.
Yeah.
Where it's like certain flavors or whatever signifies like, oh, little boy, little girl, or like teen boy, teen girl, something like that.
Yeah. Now there's so much that's
kind
of signifies child endangerment from our elites and even big civil groups that have their months and
yeah,
things
bro.
like
Even
that.
even like actors and stuff like that. Allegedly actors and actresses and some music artists or whatever.
They come out and they mention several jokes and things like that. But then you also get those actors who come on stage and
they bash on those people too. They bash on the people who partaken into like
and they preach
actions.
about God and stuff like that. Like Chris Pratt's a good example. Chris Pratt.
Yeah, I mean he's had like a controversial past, but like still he has come out, you know, praising God and stuff like that. I did see that video, by the way, his acceptance speech. Do you know the comedian Ricky Gervais? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember on his final Emmys, right? Or Golden Globes, some shit. It was some award show, but it was his last time hosting, and that entire time he was literally just talking shit on everyone. And he was just like, oh, like, you worked for a rapist. And he was like, no, shut up. Don't laugh. You know it's true.
Mm-hmm.
And he was basically just exposing. Yeah, he was just exposing them.
Is he the British dude?
Yeah, he's the British dude.
Yeah, the British dude, yeah.
And, yeah, everyone was just laughing awkwardly. Some were genuinely laughing. I mean, probably because they don't partake in it. But then there's some
who know about it.
Who, like, low-key knew. And they were, like, either nervously laughing or they looked nervous. They looked like they were tense, you know?
A recent example of someone kind of preaching about Hollywood and how bad it is Tom Holland. And he's been negatively affected by it, too. Because he came out on this podcast talking about how he works for the industry, he works for Hollywood.
But he stays away because he's scared.
Stays away, but they kind of came back to like bite him in the ass. Cause
did you see that trailer?
I didn't watch the trailer, but I've seen the clip. He I don't know the name of the movie, to be honest.
I don't know about it either, but everyone in the comment section was saying like, oh, they got him.
Yeah.
Because you know how they say like there's the moment of humiliation that they have to go through?
Yeah.
Yeah, so supposedly that was his moment of humiliation. And people were like freaking out in the comment section saying they got him, like he spoke out too much or something like that. Which is crazy because
he's like still young, and since he's been in the industry, he was young, so.
But he seems.
If they got him.
He seems. I don't know. It's weird because obviously in order to have that clip, that would have had to been recorded months before that podcast, you know? Mm-hmm. So. I don't know.
Who knows, man?
Maybe there's something that happened in between that time where it kind of changed his perspective on things.
Yeah, maybe that's why he came out to talk about it.
And he was
like,
I just don't maybe he knew. Maybe he knew that like as soon as it was gonna come out, something was gonna happen with the like people reacting to it. So he was like, yeah, no, that shit scares me, you know.
Yeah, so it's just crazy. Yeah. And then there's obviously those actors on the opposite side. I saw a whole collage on this TikTok. TikTok's the fucking source.
Yeah, I was gonna say, bro. Like, this entire time we're like, yeah, we saw this TikTok, bro.
Yeah, but I believe it because it's actual audio from them. Yeah. It's not like they're putting some fucking AI generated video from the.
I mean, you would hope.
Or the Grammys of them talking about how Satan helped them win the fucking.
Trophy,
or like how the elites like.
Do satanic rituals.
Gave them shit. They're like, this is for you, saying we're gonna celebrate you and shit like that. Like, there's been hosts who've literally come out and said that, like, are you guys ready to celebrate the annual, like, ritual day or whatever? Like, that's fucking weird.
I mean, unless they're saying that as a joke to poke fun at people, you know?
I mean, yeah,
but still, it is weird. Like, why the fuck would you say that?
Most of the time, the people who come out and say that, they're not any better looking or less sketchy than the rest of them.
Yeah.
Like, just because they're big and famous doesn't mean they're not all fucking suspects of being invited and shit like that. So.
It's like I said, this whole episode surrounds like who can we trust, and it's like you don't know because obviously when you have such a big platform, when you have such a big platform, an audience, and everyone's watching your every move in life, it's really tough to get people to believe you, you know. So it's like you really, like I said, you don't know who you can trust. Like, who can we trust? You know.
Man. They're all.
I don't know.
Probably fucked up somehow.
Yeah, And, you know, going back to what I was saying earlier about the whole, like, they were exposing, like, lists and stuff like that. Recently, there's this new movie that came out. It's called Sound of Freedom. If you have not watched it, I recommend you go. And if the movie theater says it's sold out, it's bullshit. They're going to say that. Take your ass inside that movie theater and check yourself, because they're going through a big controversy of making all these excuses, saying the AC's not working or the projector's not working. Or like I said, they say it's sold out, but when you go inside, it's not.
They come up with the most elaborate shit.
Yeah.
One video I saw, this lady was saying they absolutely did not let us enter because the pipe in the bathroom was messed up.
Yeah.
How does that affect the whole theater, you know?
Mm.
And the projector and this whole thing. And with you saying it's sold out, it's not. Like, so many people are trying to see it, so maybe they're just using that as their advantage, like, oh, too many people came to watch. But this one video I watched, this guy was sitting in the theater all by himself, very, very small theater, but he had said there was a big group of people who were in there, like, in front of him a little bit, and he said when it got halfway to the movie, maybe like 15 minutes in, all of them just got up and left. And then, following that, he started re-recording, because it was just audio, and then he was showing the screen and stuff. They had, inside the movie theater, they had turned on the lights, and they were blasting radio music, but they were still playing the movie.
Yeah.
So he was sitting there in a dark, like, in a bright-ass movie theater with country music blasting in his ear while he's trying to watch the movie, and there's no one else in there. But they had told him, like, oh, it's sold out, like, you are lucky getting your ticket.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the people who were supposed to be in there just got up and left.
You know, I have a story to tell too. I'm not gonna say who, because fuck you, government. You're gonna come out looking for my people. I'm not gonna let that shit happen. No, all jokes aside though, people I know, right, went to go try to watch the movie. I think it was around the daytime, middle of the week.
Mm-hmm.
They go and it's sold out. But the thing is, the parking lot wasn't even half full. And so they went to go watch, I think, Mission Impossible. Not the point of the story, but no, when they told me that, I was like, no way, like, it happened to you guys too, you know, like.
That's fucking.
And then they're like, what? They're like, what do you mean? And I explained to them, I'm like, they say it's sold out, but it's not sold out. You have to like go inside and check yourself, because no one's inside, like. And then I told them with the whole mishaps of the whole, you know, the excuses and all that stuff that they're giving people.
It's fucking awful that the workers themselves are partaking in not allowing people to watch the movie. They're doing everything in their power to go and interrupt the people watching, and they're saying, oh, we'll give you free tickets, you could come back another day, sorry for the inconvenience to you guys, but it's just gonna take some time to restart it. The guy said, some dude said it's gonna take like 30 minutes, and then we're gonna skip by through the ads so you can watch it from the beginning and enjoy the movie. But that's not the case, bro. They're trying to just get people out of the theaters because they don't want like people actually knowing about the whole,
like the whole message
thing,
behind
bro.
it.
Like, I haven't even, like, us talking about it, I feel like I would see a trailer for it or something like that to be able to actually watch the movie or know what's gonna happen in the movie. Obviously, I know what's gonna happen in the movie and what it's about, but I haven't seen trailers. I haven't seen much advertisement.
The advertisement hasn't been big for it up until the moment theaters were getting exposed for all these excuses and mishaps that have been happening.
You know, they made the movie 3 years ago.
Yeah, and they were trying to get it with like different movie companies, but
Netflix, everybody, they tried, and no one except
Fox had it for a bit. But since Disney owns Fox, or they bought Fox at the time, they're like, nah, fuck that.
Yeah, they were all saying this isn't for our
brand or whatever. Which I think they just didn't want to go through that big, trouble. They didn't want anyone coming after them, elite wise, after their families.
I mean, most of those movie companies are practically elites themselves. Like, you can't say Disney's not doing some fucking wild shit, bro.
No, honestly, I know you would think that because, the whole, like, they come out as greedy with money and all that. I actually think they're chill.
Disney,
like, I think they're innocent, And the reason why they didn't want the movie was because they don't want anyone coming after them. Like maybe they've dealt with people. You know? Yeah, maybe they've dealt with like fishy people, but they're not fishy themselves. If that makes sense.
You tell me the CEO of Disney isn't fucking fishy?
Well, no, I'm saying like maybe he has dealt with fishy people, but he himself is not fishy because he doesn't want anything bad happening to him or his family.
I mean, yeah. See, that's also the thing. If you're in those positions, they think it's a joke.
Yeah.
And that's just because they don't know. But honestly, if you don't know, the more the better, bro.
Yeah.
You're kind of oblivious to it, and you're a little safer.
Mm-hmm.
So, like what happened to us, it's scary. In that moment, we were a little scared.
Yeah. We were just tripping out a little bit because although, certain parts of the audio was saved, not everything in that audio was saved. If that makes sense. So, we had like about 40 minutes of footage and audio. Basically got cut down to 1:04 seconds and a minute 7 seconds, and out of that minute 7 seconds that we had that was saved or whatever, only 4 seconds of it had audio. The rest was just pure silence.
And it didn't let you play past the 4 seconds.
And it didn't let me play past. So, yeah, I don't know.
You gotta be careful with how you
how you say stuff. Yeah, how you dive
how you say things like Frankie just said. But
you know, the movie and all this stuff that's been happening. I have I think it's just one like conspiracy. They sent in people who don't normally work there, who like work for the elites or whatever, and that's gonna sound crazy saying it out loud, but they sent those people in so they could deal with all the dirty work. Cause like there's no way, like someone working minimum wage would be willing to
shut down a whole movie just because it talks about child.
Yeah, like they don't get paid enough to
give a fuck
like that. Yeah. I mean, obviously to give a fuck about the message, but give a fuck to sabotage it.
Like turning on the lights and blasting the music.
Yeah.
Like think they're really gonna give a fuck? I mean, unless it's like direct orders from their management.
Yeah, that's another thing. Unless
crazy too that the managers are sitting there telling him like, hey, whatever you do, this movie's playing at this time.
Yeah.
Let it get to this point and then just go shut it down.
No, but that's okay. I do have two conspiracies. That's my second one. Maybe they're being told because they're being threatened. Because they're being threatened that if you don't do this, your family's could potentially get hurt.
Or you're gonna get fired.
Or you're gonna get fired, or something bad's gonna happen to you.
Yeah, that's fucking scary, bro.
Yeah, because they do threat.
That's the case in the movie theaters. People. Like, as a worker there, that's fucking terrifying, bro. I don't want someone coming up to me and being like, you have to sabotage this movie because your family's gonna fucking get hurt, or you're gonna get fired. Like, at that point, I might as well quit and go preach about the shit I just heard from my boss. Like, I'm not gonna fucking sit there and take my boss telling me, oh yeah, my family's gonna get hurt.
Yeah. And
it just sucks seeing them on the videos trying so hard to really shut it down and not let the message be spread about
like the whole child trafficking problem that's going on right now. And it's weird because it's just like so much is coming out again with all these lists and celebrities visiting these islands and stuff like that. A couple of big names, although there's a couple of political people that I do see partaking in that, such as the Clintons.
People in the comments when I was looking at the list, they were saying, "Oh, where's Trump's name?" Because on this video, it was like a slideshow of photos, so it showed the list. But just because he hung out with them doesn't mean he went to the island and was necessarily involved in any of that shit, know?
Again, it's like that whole thing where it's like you may hang out with fishy people, but that doesn't mean you're partaking in anything. Which I'm not saying, maybe he didn't do it. You never know, Maybe he's just really good at hiding it.
I had mentioned this on the recording. There was a relative of the Kennedys with the same last name as a Kennedy. Most of the Kennedys were Democratic,
Yeah.
And in this day of age, the Democrats stand for something completely different from when they were going through the Cold War or whatever situation was happening. And he had come out and said, I'm going to strive to make the middle class stronger because that will boost our economic growth and livelihood, so we don't have a downfall that the rest of the kids and generation is gonna face. You know.
Yeah.
Because for us right now, we're just living in the moment, and most kids
don't give a fuck.
But when we get to our like 40s and shit like that,
they're gonna have to give a fuck.
It's gonna smack us. It's gonna smack us right in the face, and we're gonna be like, "Where'd this come from?" When the whole time it was just generating over and over again.
Yeah, I do remember talking about that. The whole like our generation does have that I don't give a fuck attitude, and as much as you don't care right now, like you should care, because at the end of the day, like this is our future, and not just that, like bro, your kids that you're gonna have are gonna grow up in such a shitty fucking world if we don't do something about it now, you know?
Yeah, like you gotta be aware to this movie and the message it's spreading and how deep it can go into different sectors of like
and you know what's
communities.
You know what sucks, bro? Is that you notice that all the Kennedys.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying like he was a late family member of the Kennedys who was unfortunately
assassinated.
Yeah.
He was taken. Yeah, that's... You just never know, man. And I do remember us talking about that, and I do remember us talking about how there's other celebrities who have come out and said stuff. And another famous editor or writer that... I don't know what he was exactly, but he came out exposing the elites or whatever. And at the end of the video that he was making, he said, "If I die, it was not from suicide. Someone killed me. I am not suicidal. My mental health is good. I'm not depressed. Don't believe what they say."
Mm-hmm.
You know, if a person has to come out saying or giving warnings, you know, obviously you have to keep an eye out for that.
Yeah.
But the thing is, us as people, we kind of just brush it under the rug, you know? Like, we don't really...
It's kiss with a lot of things, bro.
Again, it's the same thing with the I don't give a fuck attitude. It's just like we hear about it, we're like, oh my god, and then we're like, okay, well, whatever. Or something else happens, and then we get distracted, and then... Again, we forget about it.
Yeah, there's just something that
which happens a lot. That happens a lot if you don't notice. So one thing happens on the news, and then something else happens. Maybe it could be a coincidence, but you never know. Again, conspiracies.
Never ending, bro, at this point. They're just doing shit, adding shit on top of their own issues to cover it up.
Yeah, but the most fucked up, bro, is again with the movie and, you know, the message behind it with the whole child trafficking. Like, man, it's just... It's sad seeing all these cases with disappearing kids and then finding their clothes in the woods or the remains in the woods or something, you know?
And there's been like several movies that have covered that in like the past too.
And what's fucked is like they keep them and then once they get older, they kill them and then they sell their organs or whatever to like the black market or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And what's even more sickening is that there's this one photo that got leaked where it was this one girl on a ping pong table.
Oh,
and she was like, her face was just sliced on the side, bro.
Like the Joker type shit?
Yeah, like the Joker type shit, but like everything else was sliced too.
Oh.
So she was just a dead body, like laying there, and it was just like, damn, bro, like that's a kid, bro. That's a child, bro. And you just fucking murdered it.
I remember exactly what you're talking about. Like,
yeah. I get, like, you know, in this country, we all deserve rights and freedom, but how do you just give freedom back to someone who has attempted to meet up with a child or has actually successfully hurt sexually and physically to a child, you know? Like, how can you just give them a chance to just, I don't know.
Come back in a reality.
Yeah, no, it really fucks with my mind, bro. And
have you seen those videos of people, like, how to catch a predator? And then they, like, tell them to meet at the store and then they film them and shit like that. Yeah, some guy, a 30-year-old dude, drove a couple of hours to meet a 13-year-old boy and take him back to his hotel.
Yeah, it's fucked
while
up.
He left his family, like the older man, he left his family and his wife to go meet up with the 13-year-old boy. And he was completely honest about the situation. He wasn't like trying to hide the fact that he just randomly came to a Walmart. Like, no, he was honest. He was like, yeah, I came here to meet a boy and take him back to my hotel room. For them to be so blunt about it and like just be okay with it.
Yeah,
in their own minds, and it's fucked up, bro.
And their own punishment is going around door to door. Hey, I'm a registered sex offender. Like, no, bro, keep that motherfucker in jail. You know, yeah, and honestly, I'm not for violence, and I never will be. But props to the people in jail who really fuck up the pedophiles, dude. Because they're doing the Lord's work.
The fact that some of them survive and make it out, bro, is just the system, the whole system just.
And I'm not saying like
change,
I'm not saying like send him to like a death penalty or anything. That's not what I'm saying at all. But keep them in jail, bro. Like they don't, like the inmates will handle it themselves, you know. But still, like just they're like, why do they get off so easily?
Yeah.
And like what in the right mind makes them just, I don't know. It's just.
Yeah.
Especially the like famous people, bro. Like what are they doing messing with a bunch of little kids?
There's
like something's fucking wrong with them.
God, man, even our fucking president is not any safe, but I don't want to go into that cuz it's just not
we could bash people, but it's
not going to lead anywhere. It just gives you guys awareness, you know, like multiple people have come out and say keep the kids safe. In that case, it's just you can't really say anything nowadays. Like, Trump barely mentioned shit, and he got taken off the whole internet.
You know, as much as he comes off as a piece of shit, and a lot of people don't like him, and yes, he has said some questionable stuff. I mean,
he hasn't.
No
been
doubt,
the best man.
Yeah, no doubt about that. He's not been the greatest person, you know, but I don't know, they do silence him a lot.
Yeah, they do.
And I feel like, although, again, he comes off as shitty, and I'm pretty sure he has done some questionable things. Not as questionable as, you know, Pizzagate, but I think he could. I feel like he could expose them, but
yeah,
they could even take him out too.
Danger, bro, very much in danger.
He's very like, you know what? Not my monkey, not my circus type. You know.
Mm-hmm.
My eyes are closed. I'll look the other way. I'll go play a nice game of golf. Keep my mouth shut.
I mean, at this point, yeah, that's kind of what he had to do, bro. He got taken off the internet. He's not going to be finding ways to spam messages about all that, because at the end of the day, you got to keep your own safety and yourself alive. And that's scary, bro.
Even though he can put, like, you know, say a lot.
He has his people.
But then people are going to be like, oh, he's talking crazy. He's talking gibberish. No one's going to believe him.
Yeah, because of the narrative, bro. But in the case of this movie, and just in the case of protecting our children, there's always a narrative and stuff like that.
You know, something I mentioned last time we recorded this, I said, you know, even though we have so much fear, like, if you think about it, all of us together, if we really truly work together, we could take the quote-unquote elites down.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if we were to do that, that means everything else would go into shit.
Yeah.
Because we're, as you know, obviously we're taking down a bad thing, but at the same time, we're so used to them controlling everything, we're not going to know how to control shit. And it's just like, it's just going to be like anarchy, you know? And it's just going to be worse. Like some like, okay, I'm going to like reach into the Bible right now, but it's going to turn into like some apocalyptic
Revelation
shit.
Stuff,
yeah. And
it won't
the coming of Jesus and stuff like that.
Honestly, at that point, it would be a blessing, bro.
I mean, it would be, but at the same time, it's just like evil will rise again, because then there's that whole, you know, fight with evil and good.
Yeah, and there's in the Bible, there's 7 years of torment and shit.
For the people who don't make it, though. For the people who don't make it.
And that's evil rising, though. And then eventually, after those 7 years, they'll be put down in the biggest battle.
Yeah. But
so it's just.
But we're just saying that because, like, you know, the whole if we wanted to, we could. But then again, like, it would just lead into worse things, which sucks.
It's just hard to open your eyes to it. Like,
it's just hard to speak out because then you're gonna be silenced about it.
So many people have come out, and people who have actually been incarcerated and stuff like that, and on false claims, have come out and mentioned that nowadays you have to try and open your eyes, bro. But if you're a kid like me or Frankie and you're just sitting in your room just on your phone constantly minding your own business, it's harder to open your perspective to it. And honestly, after filming this our first time, it completely like changed my mindset, bro. Because when we were talking about it in the setting, I was just like, this is what I know, this is what I've seen, but I'm not wholeheartedly into it, you know. But after further like information that's come out just on everything, it it definitely opens your eyes, and you got to be careful with how far you reach. But
yeah, and
just
and I don't know, man. Like, again, we recorded this the first time, and it's probably, in my opinion, 10 times better than what you're gonna hear right now. But that's because everything that was said that episode truly came from the heart, and I'm not saying any of this did not come from the heart. It did. It's not scripted either, but it's just trying to like reiterate what we said.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously you can't really do that when it comes to these topics, because you need to like truly like express.
Yeah, be in the
like,
moment.
be in the moment, like genuinely express how you feel about it. And obviously we think it's fucked up, the whole situation with the movie and stuff like that. But yeah, please go watch it, Sound of Freedom.
Mm-hmm.
I recommend it. I will reiterate again, if it says it's sold out, go inside. If they try to give you a BS reason, stay. Don't leave until you finish the end of the movie, because the message is really important.
There's been a lot of people who've actually been able to watch the movie and their thoughts on it. Like, people have come out and they've cried and they've said it's true, and they actually like, I think the reason they're trying to close it in general is just because they don't want people to open their eyes, bro.
Yeah.
And honestly, if I was in their position, I wouldn't want that shit either, because like you said, if there's anarchy, then it's gonna turn into fucking hell, bro. So obviously there's people above people, and you could see that in your workplaces, you can see that in your household. It's just so many like hierarchies and things like that are involved in every aspect of life, bro, that it's scary to revolve yourself around all of it.
Yeah. And I think we're just gonna end it there.
Mm-hmm.
No like silly outro or whatever. Again, it's a serious topic. But hopefully you made it to the end and listened to everything we had to say. And like I said, hopefully you watch the movie Sound of Freedom. We'll go back to our normal schedule. It's
been a couple of weeks.
Yeah, we'll explain when we come back. But yeah, like I said, thank you for listening to what we had to say, and hopefully you could take something from our message and really apply it to life, or like I said, just watch the movie and spread the word.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, thank you for listening.
Thank you.